Gentlemen, welcome back to MGTOW Money. And I want to thank and want a big shout out to all the increasing number of subscribers and positive comments that I've gotten. I do sincerely appreciate it. This, of course, as I've said so many times, this is the second wave of MGTOW. This is not about theory. This is about actionable ideas that you can put into place immediately and use in your daily life. This is about how can you increase your options and choices in life. Because if you want to lead a happier life, you need to learn how to increase your options and choices in your life. No, I'm not some sort of guru or some sort of cult leader or whatever. I'm just a guy, I'm just a MGTOW, and I've been around the block and I've read a few books. So with that said, I think I've got some ideas that can help you. Remember these words if you remember nothing else from this particular video. You don't have to do anything. Nothing in life is forced upon you. I was having a conversation with someone recently and they were saying, I have to go to work. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I had to correct them. You're right. Isn't that ironic? I had to. But I felt compelled to correct them. How about that? And what I said to this person was, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to work. You choose to go to work. Maybe you could pursue some other source of income. Maybe you could do something else. Maybe you could reduce your lifestyle and choose some sort of other income. The point is, you don't have to do anything. Sometimes it can be really difficult to get out of a situation that you're in, but you don't have to do anything. And we'll talk more about that in future videos about getting out of those boxes that you might be in and paying the price to get out of the boxes that you might be in, those comfortable situations. You feel like, I can't get out of this. Yeah, you can. It might be difficult. It might be a high price to pay, but you can get out of the situation. So with that said, last video, we were talking about your homework. I hope everyone's raised their hand. Yeah, I hope everyone did their homework, right? Specifically, we were talking about the homework was get yourself enrolled in some sort of automatic savings plan, some sort of system in which you were automatically saving, and I recommended ideally at least 20% of your income, 20% of your paycheck would be automatically deducted, put aside for you in some sort of savings account, money market account, just some sort of account separate from you. So again, this is happening transparent to you. You can do it many times through your employer or some other way. I'm sure that you could set up to where the bank could automatically move money from account A to account B. These things are very, very common today, and it's virtually across the world, these types of things in terms of setting them up as a possibility. The idea being is forced savings. The idea being it's discipline that's put upon you that's forcing you to do the following: to build your financial foundation. That's what it's all about. You build that financial foundation, and I will guarantee you, write this down, I will guarantee you, if you build a financial foundation, you will increase the number of choices, the number of options, the things that you can do with your life. With that said, we're going to move on to today's topic. Today's topic is tracking your spending. Meaning, I want you to start today writing down, and we'll talk about some ways that you can even avoid writing it down. I want you to keep aware of and keep tracking all your spending. Every single penny, every single pence, every single baht, every single kyat, every single euro coin, etc. I want you to write it down. I want you to have some sort of mechanism that you can use to track all your spending every single day. Yes, it might seem cumbersome at first. It might seem like a pain in the ass at first. I get it. I do understand. And one of the easy ways that you can do so is the following. Get yourself, number one, a smartphone. Most people in the world already have one. Number two, get a smartphone app called Mint, M-I-T, Mint. Mint is a free app. It will automatically, transparently track all your spending for you, except for cash spending. Cash spending, you're still going to have to input. But by linking all your bank accounts, investment accounts, by putting in any type of real assets that you might own, you can have a way of tracking all your spending, as well as your income. We'll talk about that in just a second. But the key right now that we're focused on is tracking our spending, tracking all of it every day without question. So with that said, I highly recommend the Mint app. It is a fantastic automatic, again, keyword, we heard that before, didn't we? A simple automatic way that provides discipline for you to track all your spending. And one terrific way of tracking that spending that ties in with Mint is using a debit card. For those guys, and we talked about this before about the hazards of credit cards, for those of you who do still have debt, using a debit card is fantastic. And it does provide some of the same protections, some, keyword, of the same protections as using a credit card. But one of the great things about using a debit card is it will automatically track your spending in using an app like Mint. So every time you spend $1.73 for a bottle of water or $5.58 at lunch or whatever it might be, use your debit card. Try to get out of the idea of paying cash, because otherwise, if you are paying cash, that's okay. If you're in a sort of a cash type environment, which some of you might be, depending upon what country you're in, then you're just going to have to manually input it. But again, get a smartphone if you don't already have one, and get the Mint app and start today. Start now. I promise you, it will make a difference, because this is what's going to end up happening. After you start tracking your spending in the next 90 days, let's just say 90 days from today, look at your spending. Look at where all your spending is going. And then start thinking about, what things can I remove? Remember that gym membership you signed up for 5 months ago and you've been 3 times in the past 5 months? Or that magazine subscription that keeps hitting you and you barely even read them? Those type of recurring payments, or just stuff that really you don't need. It's money wasted. And so that's the idea, is that you want to be able to track your spending over a 90-day period and then look at it and then decide, what do I not need? What do I really not want here? Because one thing that I found, and most people have found, is that it's much easier to reduce my spending than it is to increase my income. It's easier to reduce my spending, to remove things that I really don't need, that don't have much impact on my life, than it is to try to figure out ways to increase my income. So, net, you want to cut your expenses, you want to reduce your spending, and, miraculously, guess what? If your income stays the same and you've decreased your spending, you have more money that can go into savings. So in other words, you can move your savings percentage from 20% to, maybe you could move it to 25% or even 30%. The point being is that you will much more quickly build that financial foundation. And remember, that financial foundation is going to be the vehicle that leads to greater choices and greater options. With that said, I want to thank you for listening. If you like what you've heard today, I highly recommend that you hit the, of course, subscribe button, as well as if you haven't listened to the previous videos here, I highly recommend that you do so, because they are done in sequence and they build on each other. The concepts and ideas are building blocks to each other, starting with the very, very basics in the first video that I did. So again, Hit the like button if you like what you hear. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get more of this content. And I look forward to getting together with you soon. Thanks for listening.